podcast. So much universe, so little time.
Hello, this is Fred. Welcome to this episode of the Mantic Universe podcast. In this episode, you will hear some great interviews that Matthias made while at Clash of Kings UK. First, you will hear Matthias speak to Steve Hildrew. Then you will hear him speak to Alessio Cavatore. Then you will hear me interviewing V-dawg and Jake Ciarapika. Then you will hear Matthias interviewing Team Singapore. And finally, you will hear Matthias interviewing Dave Kitcat and Darren Ware. Now, in some of these clips, there is a bit of background noise, some more than others. In the clip with me and Vidar and Jake, we did it in the parking lot, and there is some noise from cars starting their engines here and there, and also some wind noise. Apologies. And in the clip in the end of the episode with Dave and Darren, there is quite a lot of noise from the surrounding people in the eating area. So we do apologize. But anyway, here is Matthias.
So, hello Steve! We're in the lunch break of the second day now. You're judging armies, a lot of stress. I get a few minutes off you, despite you not eating. So, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks very much. I'm actually very stress-free. And just, it's been a very chilled out tournament for me. Very little's gone wrong. Everything's gone incredibly smoothly. We're really happy. Yeah, it's all good.
So once the companion worked as it should be and everyone got their lunch, no one's missing.
Yeah, well, we had some people missing. Some people were poorly or dropped out. Somebody had to go to hospital. So the usual kind of nonsense. But the companion has been a problem rather than the companion's problem. It's gone really well. And yeah, it's all good. Very happy.
So, and we got some very nice things as goodie bags and as L goodie bags. And Steve, tell us, when do we get the plushies? Do you know? Are there Mantic points? Are they ready to pay? When can we buy them?
So we designed this Mind Screech plush toy with Mantic specifically for Clash. I know that Mantic has, I'm going to say around 150 of them at Mantic headquarters. How Ronnie's going to distribute them, I don't know, whether they're Mantic points or money or special tournament prizes. I would advise that you ask Ronnie.
If I can get a hand on him, I will ask. Okay. What else do we want? Another plushie. What else? Now, Twilight King, Orcs, Goblins, Orclings?
Well, maybe the new faction that's been hinted at. Maybe we'll get a plush of one of those.
That would be wonderful. Do you know what it is?
I might. No,
yeah.
I might know. I'm not telling you because I would get taken out and shot. But I think there's some clues coming. There's a big board.
Yeah, we have already made a picture from it, so we have seen it.
It's interesting. So apparently all the clues for that plushie. It's not plushie, it's for the new faction. So we've got here, so within the Clash of Kings 2024 there's clues. Within the Seas of Dread Armada supplement, within Halpi's Rift, Caesar Flame, which is a Armada supplement, and the Champions rulebook, there are clues as to the new faction.
So for everyone who carefully the background should already know.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a good hint. I may know. I'm just guessing. So we know, others don't. We all have to wait.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I think if they doggedly follow the clues, then they may find the
So,
faction.
Steve, how is judging armies?
It's good. It's very, very hard. It's the hardest part, really, because there's nearly 200 players here, and everyone's put a lot of effort in. And the worst thing, we have a lot of hobby awards, right? So we have 3 top awards, and then we have 5 judges awards, which is just for armies that we love, we think are amazing. but might not be like the toppest quality. And then we have 30 more kind of hobby badges for people who we want to represent the appreciation of the effort they put into their armies, which sounds great. So that's 38 awards, but there's 200 people here.
So someone has to go home.
Somebody's going to be disappointed, and every year there's armies that we just don't see or we don't pick up, and we don't always agree. Oh, here we come. Sorry, as we were talking, somebody's wandering in. Game 5. A little too much to drink last night.
Yeah.
Shocking behaviour.
It's always one. You know, we
Always
don't
one.
tell you guys whom it is, but you may know.
It was Paul Welsh. I'll tell you who it was. Shocking behaviour. So we have a lot of hobbies. So people go around and just I love to give them out because people really value them. They really value them. But there's always people who get upset and maybe feel like they put hours and hours and hours of time and love into their army, and maybe they haven't been recognised, and that feels bad. So
for everyone, the next time, if your army wasn't seen, please put them on display during the game breaks. Put your name on it and make it be seen by the judges when they go around, and don't hide it somewhere in the case. Just it's easier to carry around.
Yeah. It's hard to see, but even though sometimes we don't see them, and somebody, we've only got a limited number of awards, so we have to make a choice, and it's a difficult choice. But we definitely appreciate all the effort people. It's a really high hobby standard.
Do you have already a favourite or?
There are some outstanding armies, but I've got a long list. I've got a list of.
Hopefully Nick Williams doesn't get anything, because his armies are always amazing, and the big display in front of everyone. So he is not on the list.
Right, well, I've got a list that's only I've got a list of like 30, 40 people already that I like, and I'm only one of 7 my judges into telling me what they think, and then we'll do a list.
And how do you think the competitive side is going currently? The good, I have lost overview about things going because I'm playing myself, but how are the good players doing as expected, or you have some surprising guns? I have seen Florence is doing not so well, but she's also some kind of experimental list playing, so this was unexpected from our point of view. So whom is your big surprise?
I think Florence is finding out that skeleton spearmen don't kill anything, which is a tough lesson to learn. I think there's been, we've just had the UK #1, Chris Lynch was just knocked out by Piotr Dakowski from Poland.
Yeah,
the younger Dakowski, which is a big surprise because Chris is an excellent player.
Yeah.
Tom Robinson's still winning because Tom Robinson just wins. In terms of the British top players, Page Neo's won, but he has lost one game from Singapore. The Spanish are doing very, very well. I've not got the rankings in front of me, but maybe I do if I do that. Generalship placings. No, there's not up yet. So, there's it's all to play for. We've got 2 more games to go. So
everything can happen.
Anything can happen, indeed. Yeah. We need to work out who's going to go on the top table for the next 2 games, but it's been really good.
So maybe we have a chance to talk afterwards again. Then we have the final results.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for now, and happy tournament organizing, Steve.
A total pleasure, and thank you for coming all this way. I really appreciate it. You guys are legends. Great.
Bye. So I have the chance to talk to the wonderful Alessio Cavatore, and of course wonderful, and maybe he can tell us some sneak peeks about what's coming up with Kings of War, or what he has done with the game, what was he thinking about it. And for me it was like a lot of things that I recognized are kind of inspired by historical gaming, so tell us.
Oh, it's very true. Kings of War, from its birth, from the very beginning, it's a rank and flank historical type of game. So the type of warfare that it pictures is very much the antiquity or Middle Ages fighting. So there is there's no secret there, of course. It's always been strongly influenced by all the systems that existed before that deal with guys with shields locked into ranks fighting each other, right? And there was a historical version of Kings of War, literally.
Which worked well. So some people still play it. It's
there you go.
Maybe an updated version coming before?
That I don't know. You have to ask Ronnie that. Definitely not my
not
call.
From you.
Not definitely. But you're right. Some of the 4th edition are perhaps less, more similar to some of to the normal systems, because frankly it's far more normal the units stay in combat, right? The units detached from combat. That was trying to represent the ebb and flow, but we never quite got it so that everybody was happy about it. And actually this version is, I would say, simpler and more familiar, maybe because I play a lot of historical war games, so maybe it's familiar from that point of view.
So when you came back to Mantic, and you saw the Kings of War rulebook, what was your first thought? That you need to streamline it again, or that there are features missing, or that you want to remove some features? So what was your first experience of coming back and playing the game again?
Well, basically, looking at 3.5, it looked definitely like the game had evolved, was developed very much for the expert community, for the veteran community. So the rulebook was very functional for that specific group. I'll give you examples. So some of the rules, if you, at the very start of the rulebook, you want the rules, when you explain the basic rules, you want the rule, not the rule and a lot of exceptions, because then for a veteran, that works fine, because you go, this rule is like that, but it doesn't apply if you're talking about a unit with fly, or if the unit is devastated, so lots of exceptions in the same rule when you're presenting the rule for the first time. A lot of what I've done is like, no, okay, make it more user-friendly, because the objective here is to recruit new players. Yeah. While at the same time, we don't want to lose the veteran community. So a lot of the stuff has been just moved from the very front. Say it was front-loaded. We kind of put it in a separate part of the book, like an advanced rules. Yeah. So the idea is, if you're a beginner, at the start you see a book with more pictures, more obvious. So it's like, this is a unit of infantry, picture. Like 3.5 doesn't have pictures of anything. Yeah. So because people already know what an infantry is, etc. But actually, because like, this is what infantry looks like, this is what cavalry looks like, picture, not a lot of text. So again, an easier way into the game, because you all guys also want new people to come into the game, right? So the idea is make it easier, less scary, user-friendly at the start, and then put a lot of the complexity, a lot of the subtlety, a lot of the tactics more in the back. So the idea, the journey should be, you start the game, it's simple, it's friendly, it's fun, and then some people will move on and get, I'll go to a tournament now.
More challenging once you proceed.
Right.
And things like
that. So that was part of the objective, streamline the front and backlog like that.
How because some of us are more lore-driven and narrative-driven gamers. So how much influence had the existing lore, because that changed a lot in the background info. So we got novels, we got expansion books and things like that, add a lot of lore to the game between second, third, 3.5 and now. So how much influence had the lore actually had on rules development?
Well, I mean, the lore master...
Have you read the novels?
Yeah, not all of them. No. The lore master is definitely Matt, so you better ask him about that. But from my point of view, certainly when the army lists, one of the big things in this new system, in the 4th edition, is that we changed the way you pick the army and made it more Mantic, following the similar systems to all the other Mantic games. So it's more familiar in that sense. And also that's the big... Some of the armies got included up from the start, some will be treated later in expansions, but all of them are covered in some way, shape or form. But the idea is, we think that people will have to rediscover their army or a different army. Yeah. The idea is, for me, like in role-play games, the part I really love is making the character, maybe even more than playing the game. Like in this game, in war games, I love the thing when you're thinking about the list and you're playing.
Developing the team, developing the lore for your theme, and
you're going to go, what army do I do and what unit do I put? And I spent incredible amount of hours just writing army lists. And that I really like that part. So by changing the way you pick the army, and and obviously the armies are different, some have been reduced, some have been split. So there's been a lot of work on that. If you want more detail, I think Matt is your man, because he knows a lot of that. Because I work more on the core rules, and they work more on the army list development of that. So. Yeah.
But you still work together, obviously.
Oh, yeah, we play tested all together, etc. Yeah, of course.
And because I just see our Italian friends walking by, tell us, any chance to get an Italian version for the game? Because they are constantly asking about it, and now we know we have an Italian working on the rules, not just something in English.
Well, that again is not a question for me. It's a question for Rodney, really, because that's a commercial decision, not a game design thing. So that's not my area. But
so maybe like a fan translation from the original designer.
I hope so. Well, by the designer, I'm rather busy with that. I'm writing so many games. No.
But if someone is doing it, you would like to help, or you could help out in translation, things like that.
Well, I can certainly have a look if they want me to. Yeah, sure.
So, just, people always asking and don't know, and they say, there's an Italian the main designer. Why didn't this the no Italian version? Like it is.
Well, the answer is because it's a British company, not an Italian company that makes it, right? So, yeah.
But this is also something that we usually talk about because it's aimed to be beginner friendly, easy to entry, and then for a lot of people, the basic game, having it in the native language makes things a lot easier to think. For an advanced game, it might be different because once you're an expert, you're switching to English probably anyway because you go to international events and everyone speaks English, so you need to know the English rules. But like for playing at home with family and kids, it's like the native version to be.
Makes a lot of sense to have localization, certainly to recruit new people. Absolutely, yeah. But I don't know them.
You already worked on Champions together, or how was this influence? Like, did Champions influence your work, or was Champions influenced by you?
Well, I think both. I mean, when Rob was developing Champions, we were in the process of developing 4th edition. So he was part of the development up to a certain point, and unfortunately he had to finish. So it's like Champions is almost like a test bed for some of the ideas of 4th edition, but not all of them. Some of them made it into the 4th, some of them didn't. So it's like in transition.
So I expect that command abilities are working similar as in Champions, but you have to roll for them, I guess, so that they are not... Like in Champions, they are always a fixed one. They will always work. In Kings of War, they will be similar and not always work. So we are moving on that level, nothing more special or game-breaking kind of...
I think you cannot... Basically, they are different games because they happen at different dates. Yeah. So they're not the same game. And you shouldn't think them as the same game. They're certainly very similar. They're certainly very similar, but not the same. Like characters work in a different way, for example, move in a different way.
But someone playing Champions already feel familiar and at home with 4th edition. For sure.
It's very, very similar.
And the most controversial thing we got yesterday and also today in the group's chat and things like that, who came up with the idea of rebasing the heroes?
I think that was because the Champions are all based on those sizes, and therefore we thought, also because the flanking and is important enough for characters as well, so they can be flanked. So it was a desire to make everything standardized on and feel a bit more like a unit, a bit bigger, like that.
So whoever made the design decision to put the Champions heroes on 40mm bases to blame?
I think I would blame Ronnie for everything. Yes.
Okay, so we blame Ronnie for everything.
Even if it wasn't him, it's still Ronnie's fault.
It was his decision, so
his responsibility, even if it wasn't his decision.
Okay. So thank you very much for your time. Lovely guy to talk to. Thank you for making the game, designing, and coming back to review it and design again.
Well, thank you for playing the game so many years.
Yeah, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is Fred, and I'm in the courtyard outside of the venue, and I'm here with Vidar.
Hello.
And Jake.
Hey, how's it going?
Familiar voice for some of you who used to listen to the Unplugged radio, and now he's back.
I'm back-ish, right?
Well, at least you're back enough to come and play Kings of War at Clash of Kings.
Yes.
Which is great. So nice to have some Americans over.
I'm having a great time. Thanks for the nudge to come here, Fred.
Yeah. I was giving you some shit. Like, come on, Jake, come on. Why don't you come? You did the mistake of like saying to me once that you were considering coming. And since then, I haven't really stopped poking you every year.
It's been on my bucket list, and my wife was finally like, "You've been talking about this for years. Just fucking do it." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go."
Nice. Yeah, nice. You warmed her up for sufficiently long enough time.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, it's better just to hear it's done.
Yeah.
See you next year then.
Yeah. And you guys played each other in round 1, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Thanks to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to make it happen. And it happened. So how did it go? How did the game go?
It was a really tight, tactical, like, nail-biter game. I felt like, I don't know, we're measuring angles and laser pointers constantly because I have a lot of speed and nimbleness.
Yeah.
And then you have a lot of shooting and also speed with your chariots, right? And you have a lot more drops than me.
Yeah, but we agreed on everything. It's quite smooth.
Yeah.
And it was hold the line, and Jake, you're playing Herd.
Playing Herd,
and Vidar, you're playing Orcs, or Skulks, should I say?
Yeah.
Skorks.
Yeah. So, any key moments, or do you want to start with the beginning? Who won it?
Well, I can start with the
start with the end,
sides, maybe?
Yeah.
Because the table was full of terrain.
Yeah.
That's not so cool, I think.
More terrain than you're used to?
Yes, it was 2 fields and 2 forests. And the forest were...
And 3 buildings.
And 3 buildings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So the buildings helped me, but
Yeah.
the forest in the middle of the table did not help a lot.
Yeah, I was
I see.
appreciative of that as the herd player. Like, it
Oh
was very
yeah,
nice.
you just ignore all the terrain.
Right,
Looks
right.
flat to me.
Trying to pull in a lot of like chariot charges when they're hindered, right? Like,
Oh,
okay, you can
yeah.
take it, but you're gonna be hindered. Like,
Yeah.
enjoy.
Okay, so you had an edge there with the terrain.
Yeah, it definitely helped a lot.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of movement. He can charge me early on if he wants to. So
Yeah.
I sacrifice on chariot. Maybe I sacrificed too many.
Yeah.
And on my left flank, I had a dangerous group of chariots, but I wasted them too early. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I ended up like, I guess, like boxing them in with Beasts of Nature, some Spirit Walkers, and then a Stampede. And you had your Crudger, and we were like maneuvering around this building all the way on the like far, like against the board edge.
Yeah.
And we're sort of playing peekaboo because like we'd like see each other and then be like nope, and like go around and just kept like shifting around this building. But eventually, because of the way the combats went out, I was able to jump over and double hit a chariot regiment in the back end,
Oh.
kill it, spin around, and then it was like
Oh wow.
bad position, right? Like
Yeah.
like that's where I want to be, and it was
Yeah.
like this is not great for this flank for V-dawgs.
I see. So how did the final score end up?
It-
It was 3 points in the middle and 2 on the one.
I got one flank.
One flank, so
Yeah.
2 points.
Yeah, and
We
then I got the
other-
middle and the
five.
flank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how about kill points?
I think you had 1835.
Yeah, and then you had 1,015.
Yes,
So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So
It's a big win.
but you would have had so there was a moment where you had your war drum on chariot charge, my stampede, and the stampede had 10 wounds on it.
Yeah.
So if he does 1 wound with that war drum and the
Mhm.
brutal pops in, pretty
Yeah.
good chances of breaking it. And the
Absolutely.
stampede's pretty expensive, so like that
Mhm.
was like close to like 260 points. That would have,
Yeah,
I think
it's-
probably should have been yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were a couple of snake eyes too.
Yeah,
but
you
not,
rolled 2 snake eyes.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. But
and I shot a lot of. I shot
You
away
shot
the
a
knights.
lot of
the knights were
centaurs.
tried
Yes.
your best with your
The
shots.
knights were hiding in the forest. I was
Mhm.
shooting at them. I was thinking maybe later it's not that many units. Maybe I should just march or walk towards you and charge you earlier. I don't know, or let you charge me
Right.
in one of my units and then respond to that. But because I fight a little bit better than I shoot,
Right.
but I'm not sure.
You
I
did-
also wanted to go around with the
Yes.
chariot before first. So.
And I was able to slow them down with a Gur Panther troop, but you did shoot off my second. So he was going around like wide on the flank with chariots, and I was like, "Oh, let me throw Gur Panthers, slow him down." And I had
Yeah.
a second one ready. I'm like, "Going to do it again." He shot the Gur Panthers off, but you did like 10 or 11 damage within two turns to the Centaur horde. It was pretty scary. Like I had to like push them because like, they're dead next turn, so I
Yeah.
gotta like.
Yeah.
Took like a bad sculptor charge
Yeah.
because I was like, well, if I don't do this, they don't do anything.
Yeah.
And then you just combo them right off the board, which was like nice. And that's basically how you took the second one off too.
Yeah.
Like
How did you like the V-dawg sculpt list?
it was cool. It was really interesting. I think I'm a bad matchup for it, right? Like I have the speed to like
but the rampage is a good against
Yes,
you. So
yeah.
I think actually the matchup
It was
maybe
like,
not
alright.
that bad, but the birds for me are a problem. Or your
Right.
big beast of nature.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
Yeah. But I thought it was really cool. I actually sent it to the pictures of it to my brother because he likes like quirky like lists that use units that people don't take a lot.
Yeah.
And so I sent him that. I was like, we would never see this over on the East Coast. like I don't think I've seen people use more than like a unit of skulks ever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like yeah, it was very cool. And the boost from the flag guy
Yeah.
to everybody, including the characters, is actually pretty good.
He's 50 points, and he
Right.
if they stand in perfect harmony,
right.
he adds. Let's see, he adds actually 35 shots each turn.
Which
Yeah.
is
if
Yeah.
the Skull Heroes are also there.
right.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then it helped you in combat too, because you like at the end of the game killed a beast of nature, and it was
Yeah.
basically from the buffs
Yeah.
from that flag guy, right? Like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah, so I think when V-dawgs first started this list, it wasn't supposed to be competitive. It was for fun. And then when you started playing it at the club, you realized you're actually winning games with it. weren't
Yeah,
you?
also I made the list, and then someone, the Clash of Kings 24 game, and then, we have 24 range now.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was like, 24, we have steady aim, that's good. Okay, so far so good. And since someone told me, the rampage affects the attack stats, and therefore the attacks...
Works with shooting and all
I
that.
thought, oh, really?
Like-
I didn't see that coming. So,
Yeah. Nice. And the list you're playing now, is that something you've played for a while, or did you?
I've been playing it like on and off for probably about like a year and a half. So I think this will be my third or fourth event with it because I haven't been going to as many GTs as I was like a couple years ago.
No.
But it's a nice break from Undead. It's very, very different than Undead, right? Like, because I'm very like with Undead, it's very like pull people into charges and then try to like surge up around the flanks.
Yeah.
But with like Herd, it's very much about like positioning to get those charges when you need them. Yeah. And like you're the one in many ways like who's deciding when you're like hitting. Yeah. And so it's like very different pacing.
Yeah, so it's a fun change of list style.
Wrapping your and Pathfinder and like on everything is like really decadent.
I think it's super strong.
Right.
Because the units are super strong. And then you have the chaff.
Yes.
It's actually perfect because you have access to that cheap, crappy chaff and those super units. That means you can dictate if you get the charge.
Yes, because you can block stuff up really. The main thing that like I run into that really like hurts is if you fight really reliable shooting, particularly if it has Pierce 1. It's rough because your highest defense across the board for the most part is 4. Yeah. The Stampede's 5 and the Beasts of Nature are 5, and so is Moonfang. But like everything else is 4 or lower. Yeah. And so it's really easy for like I don't know like a couple units of Glade Stalkers to just peel stuff off.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Well, cool. So and then we can. Officially dispel Rob's been like badgering you about you never play Kings of War anymore. But that's officially disproven, isn't it?
A little bit. I mean, he's not wrong, right? Because this is the first time I played since June at Orktown, and then before then, probably since September at no, it would have been January at Dead of Winter. So I basically play
like twice a year, or something.
You know, 3 or 4 events at max. Depends how many events my brother's going to, right?
Oh,
like,
you usually go together.
Yeah, and like most of the events I sign up with, it's because he's like, I'm going. Yeah. I'll drive, and I'm like, yeah, all right,
cool. So he drags you along a little bit,
right, for sure. Which is how he started. I was dragging him along. It's like the opposite.
Exactly. That's great.
I'm actually counting as him in this event, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, your name is Noah on the list.
Noah Hutton, yeah.
So we'll see both your names. I'll see both you next year then.
Right. Show up as Jake Noah,
and then you have to make your own companion list.
Well, what's funny about it is like he and I look pretty similar, so at a lot of events we get like mistaken for each other. So it's really throwing people for a wrench. Like
I've seen a photo of him. Yeah, he really looks like you.
You can tell we're brothers.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for this brief interview. Maybe we'll catch up later with the microphone, maybe not. But in any case, it's lovely to have you over, Jake.
Yeah, thanks for the push, and nice to meet you, V-dawg, in person. Yeah.
Really nice.
Clash of Kings continues to be the main networking event of the Kings of War community.
Sure is.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
See you.
So hello everyone, now I'm having the honor to get on with Team Singapore. Guys, you are traveling from a very far place. How was your journey?
Really tiring because it's 14 hours of a plane and a few more hours of train all the way to Nottingham. But we're enjoying ourselves so far.
Great. And you are free in your team. How is the scene doing in Singapore? So is this all the Kings of War players, or you have a growing or steady?
We do have a small community because of family commitments. So we try our best to send a team. The 3 of us are representing the nation for the very first time together as a team. Our Pathfinder Gaddafi has came 3 years ago and last year. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it this year because his wife is expecting and is due anytime now.
And you are traveling with your wife. How this came to how you get your wife to join in for a tournament to watch you play? Is this a regular thing or?
So actually, we're going to Spain after this. Yeah. So we'll go on holiday.
So first your holiday, then your holiday.
Yeah. It'll be a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, this is a great fun journey. And how were your games, guys? Did you enjoy everything, or any bad spoils, or UBC? Because Clash of Kings is always experts in gaming and great armies to watch like. So how were your games going?
So I went 4-2, but all the battles were pretty difficult. I think the level of the playing field is really high because we have people coming from all over the world to compete in this tournament. Many Europeans, of course, but all, I think, top players from all around Europe, because I guess if you'd like to fly to compete, you are pretty hardcore. You're pretty hardcore to be flying in to compete. Yeah.
So I didn't do as well. I went 2, 1, and 3. Yeah, but I mean, that's the wonderful thing about Kings of War. The losses were very close. It was just 4-3. So if there were extra turns, it would have flipped in any other way. So that's the good thing about Kings of War. Anybody can win.
And Jared is 1 year into Kings of War only. He's a veteran war gamer, but he's only first year into Kings of War, so I think he still did very well.
Okay, my name is James. I'm lucky to go 4-2. My first game's opponent made it out to the last round facing the champion, Tom Robinson. So losing to him, I think, wasn't a bad deal. Halfway through one of my games with Daniel King, he paused the clock and told me, "You could have won the game. Did you just see a flying charge in the rear of my Ogre Palace card?" I said, "Oh, I think I will bring it to my grave and say, why didn't I see it?" Okay, we are quite tiring. And for my very last game with Nacho from Spain, literally we went down to the very last dice roll. Is that almost every scoring unit are dead. I only left with one dragon, 2 regiments. He's left with 1 regiment just to score. So I edged him out because I have more unit strength in one zone. So I think it's a very competitive and very enjoying game. Is that well, we put our best behavior before our opponents, but then the dice decides your fate.
Yeah. So, and you are new to Kings of War, but a veteran wargamer. What is your story? What was your first game, and how did you find Kings of War?
So I started like how everybody started. I've started playing Warhammer Fantasy actually back in about 2004 or 2002. I mean, I've played Warhammer Fantasy. I've even played with some of the players, but Age of Sigmar happened, and Warhammer Fantasy disappeared in Singapore.
Jared was an ETC player as well. How many years you went for ETC?
I think about five years.
5 years of Warhammer Fantasy ETC. So he's a veteran player.
Yeah.
So,
Then,
yes, go on.
then I went to X-Wing.
Yeah.
And X-Wing happened for a while, and recently again X-Wing died, and so I came back into Kings of War.
Yeah, okay. So that's an interesting one. So because now with having a former ETC player in here, you can now compare the tournaments or the competitive scene. So which do you think was more enjoyable and which was more challenging? Playing at Clash or playing the ETC?
I would say there are two different kind of dynamics. Actually, I would like to see Kings of War in ETC. So if anybody is hearing this, please consider. But in ETC, the team dynamics is a little bit different. You get to play different armies and you get to face different opponents. Whereas Kings of War at Clash of Kings is more about individual performance. So I think the good thing is that everybody brings their strongest list. The bad thing is that perhaps certain strong lists will have more appearances rather than others. A lot of ETC, you will get to see a lot of different armies. Yeah.
Okay. Mentioning the ETC format with the team players, we have with Kings of War a lot of different scenarios. And like for those who don't know, in the former ETC format for Warhammer Fantasy, it was that you had the bearings on. So that was the same scenario for all players, and one team set a player with an army in, the other team set one against. They think they could challenge it and so forth until everyone had a team member. While for Kings of War, because there are a lot of different scenarios, one idea that is going around, if we ever have the chance to go in a team format, is like to do it a little bit different, so that like one team chooses the scenario and the other team chooses the pairings. Would this be a great idea? What do you guys think?
I think it's a viable idea. It just enrich our playing experience. I mean, expect the unexpected and leave it to the dice, and it will really put you on your lines to rethink on strategies and how to maximize the impact of your units and mitigate some the dangers you're going to face from the opponent's list. I think it is something that is a very more enriching and experience.
I think there's not enough team formats to try the different ideas, right? I think if we play more team formats, there'll be some good ideas and some ideas that will float to the top. I don't think I have enough experience or knowledge to comment on what team
I
format.
have to pause in here. This is Newbie Dice talking. He makes the great YouTube videos. He has very well enough experience to talk about those things. You know?
Yeah, I do have a channel, and I was quite surprised that a lot of people here know my channel. So it's a pleasant surprise. Yeah, but in terms of team format, I didn't play in the ETC, so I don't have enough experience of team formats. Back to Jared.
Maybe I would like to add, but ETC is just a forum, but I think Kings of War can always organize a team format outside of ETC, and we'll definitely be happy to participate.
Yeah, I think the French are trying to organize something for next year, but I'm not sure. But this would really be great to have a worldwide team tournament so that we can challenge each other and also have great times together. So this is a shout out for the community. If there's a Clash of Kings single player tournament in Nottingham, would be great to have a team tournament somewhere else. If the French are doing it and get it going, fine. Maybe one in Singapore, don't know, or in Southeast. And the last question is, how did you enjoy the hobby content and the armies you saw? Is this, you saw some rather different armies like in home, or like how the all armies are of course beautiful that we have seen in a tournament, but like how was is there different style in painting, things like this, or what did you enjoy the most?
I think I see a lot of beautifully painted armies, which is quite nice to see. Eye candy, right? Because you get to see a lot of beautifully done armies, lots of crazy ideas being put out. Especially Nick Williams with his big display board and all converted Mantic files. And I'm happy to win a hobby award pin awarded to me by Steve Hildrew. He was impressed with my Persian team Abyssal Army.
My greatest takeaway is looking at how people actually base their models or prepares their kits. I saw a 3D printed toolbox with slots for dice and the counters. I think it's something I want to try back home because it allows me to bring my things more organized. For those who have seen me packing my army, is that okay? I just dump everything in the tray and hopefully things don't fall when I move from table to table. I think, and these ideas are great. I think it's time to try it back at home.
So I will take this opportunity to shout out to my partner, Jean Liao. She's the one that painted my army. She is the expert.
Lucky man.
Yeah, she's the expert who did the painting. She's the one who did a wonderful job. But I think the other good thing about this hobby is that everybody brings a very nice painted army to the event.
Yeah, great. And now for the most difficult question, because you guys were here yesterday evening and we got some big news coming up for Kings of War, and I have to say my personal impression for now is I'm in a neutral curiosity state, so not negative, not positive, just looking forward what is coming, because some things are like as expected, others were new to me. So how you guys feel about it?
The 4th edition?
Yeah. How much can we say about it from what we heard last evening?
We can say something, not going into details what was shown, but in general, it's more like when the question is, how do you feel about it? Can you say, are you positive, negative? Are there things happening you like or don't like? Or do you just want to know more before you make your decision?
The way I see it, it should be a very refreshing change with some different style of list building and ways to play. I think it's also another enriching experience for players, for gamers. We have been playing 3rd edition for quite a few years, and some people that I know are getting stagnant with the game. They say they want something fresh. I think this fresh perspective will really attract others and make them stay interested in the hobby and continue to game with us.
I think it's a good opportunity for new players to join. Everybody's gonna reset back to the level playing field, and we're gonna all learn the game together.
There were quite a lot of big changes, so I'm worried whether the balance will be thrown off, because whenever there's big changes, there's always something that doesn't get caught, and it might take a few clash or whatever updates to stabilize. So that's one thing that I'm worried about. The list building being changed totally, that will definitely, just that alone will change the whole dynamics of the game. And of course, there are other core changes. We'll see how it goes. I am also neutral about it. I think I welcome it and I will give it a go and hope that it starts off. I'm sure there'll be kinks and problems every time with a new edition. I just hope that it's not too much. That's all.
So thank you very much, guys. Have a nice evening. Have a nice travel home, and hopefully we'll see you soon later or with next Clash of Kings.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I am sitting here with the wonderful Dave Kitcat and his friend, I have forgotten the name, sorry. Darren. And I have just had a wonderful lunch with them, enjoyed our traditional English stool meal late at night, and we had a nice, wonderful game, Dave. So
we did indeed, yes.
And tell me a little bit about how do you join the hobby and found Kings of War?
Right, well, Kings of War is more recent for me. I only started playing 2 and a bit years ago, but that was just I suppose, after a period of 2 or 3 years. So let me go to the beginning. In my earlier years, I played a lot of Ancients and Napoleonics, and this was in the 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s. Then my children arrived, and miniatures gaming came to a stop, and I moved to board games, which kept me happily entertained until COVID arrived. And then my young son, teenage son, said he wanted to play with my Lord of the Rings miniatures Games Workshop ones. And I went up to the loft and found my War Master figures that I'd collected 20 years before. And that got me in touch with Darren and his friends, who are regular War Master gamers. And we went on from there to play Black Powder, Bolt Action, Chain of Command, all sorts of miniatures games. And somewhere along the line, Kings of War reared its head, because it has a reputation of being not a difficult game, but a game that, well, they always say it's quick to master, it's easy to learn, but difficult to master. and I don't know why, it just attracted me, and I bought a halfling starter army and just went from there.
Yeah. So the big question now is, why halflings? What did you see in the army, or was it just the models or anything in the background that got you into them?
I think it was just the models in the background, and I think at the time the Clash of Kings for then was the halflings and Riftforge orcs, the stories behind it. And that just hooked me, really, just with the stories of the halflings living their lives semi-peacefully, but not being the usual halflings. They're quite savage in their way, and that was quite appealing. Their mix of farm implements or farm machinery, and how that translates onto the battlefield, how they play, and the sorcery as well. It's fascinating. It's interesting.
Yeah. So a big shout out on Mantic, that how important the lore and background is to draw people into the game and not go around with that one.
Yeah.
And switching over to Darren, how did you found game and Kings of War? It's like,
well, I've been gaming for years. So I started off with historical, and I went through all the Games Workshop, fantasy, 40k, all things like that. But then I sort of lost a bit of interest in fantasy in general, apart from playing War Master, which is 10mm scale, so it's small, easy, accessible, move the armies around. And then, having played that, Dave suggested Kings of War, and I thought, I don't know if I'm interested in 28mm fantasy. And then we started to play, and because it's easy to get into, didn't require huge numbers of figures or lots of expense. And what really grabbed me about it is the hobby part of it, the making the
mini dioramas and things like that,
and the bases and that side of it. And so I've got an interest in this. So the army I'm running at the tournament for this weekend, I based it or chose it on the figures that I liked, and it's forces of nature and it's elementals, and I've done a lot of work on the bases and things like that. So that's what caught me, the hobby side of it and the artistic side of it. And the games, like you say, it's easy to start playing, but it's got that, it grabs you, and it's got that tactical decision making in it, and it's really complex once you get into it. So that's what it is, really, the hobby, and the fact that it draws you in.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. Something from from this one, when you say both the game is challenging when you play it, a lot of people have the impression Kings of War is a bland game, that every faction is samey to a point because the stats are not very different. You only play one faction, the Halflings, I guess?
At the moment, yes.
Yeah, and you play several ones at different ones?
I've been playing for about 18 months. The first army was Empire of Dust, so I was playing for about 4 or 5 months and then came to last year's clash with Empire of Dust. Then just thought, okay, what other armies? I like Forces of Nature, so we'll build an army for that, and that's one that brought this time.
And you feel they play differently, or just with a different style, or how do you feel? It's like how is your personal feeling regarding towards this one?
Well, I think they've got similarities because my Forces of Nature army has got a lot of shambling in it. So I can use some of the skills, some of the ideas I've picked up from Empire of Dust, but at the same time, the feel, the aesthetic of it is different, and there's enough difference between all the units. The Empire Dust can be really grindy, and it's whereas the Forces of Nature one, it's a little bit more manoeuvrable. It's still got surge in it, but you've got all different types of elementals: fire and air and earth. The aesthetic is completely different.
Yeah, so the main point is like it's not the individual units that are different, but how the whole army feels
plays,
and everything works together. So that's really nice. And so something that is easily overlooked if you only look at the stats of single models and not at the army as a whole.
That's right. Yeah, the two armies play completely differently.
Yeah. So and for something different, because when old school wargamers here. A stupid question, and I need to ask them because I need to ask stupid questions or the tricky ones. So the feeling is when we have all done the historical ones first, coming from Warhammer or Games Workshop system, do you feel like Kings of War has this draws you in, like when you are making a turn, going through the historical approach and feel like fantasy again, it's easy to go with Kings of War than with the other systems?
Yeah, I think so. I think just looking at there's background on all the factions, and that background has got a good lore to it. It's got a good story attached to it as well. And you can, as Dave said about what attracted him about the Halflings, is that you've got that background with it. I think, and compared to the I suppose historical, you can do lots of research on it, historical things, but you've also got the creativity that's linked to the Kings of War, setting. Yeah. So the setting is broad enough to make your own thing, but detailed enough to get that direction when you go. Yes.
How is it for you?
Yeah. Me too. Yes, absolutely. I mean, one of the best things I had, not one of the best things, but one of the good things I had from the first Clash of Kings in 2023 that I attended was getting Broken Alliance, the storybook about the Halflings and Raw Deer and the breakup there. And I just thought it just so draws you into the world that is there. It's so enjoyable to then try to translate onto the table. The only thing they're short of is that Aaron Cadwallader they have as a character for the Halflings, but he just doesn't really do what you need. I just can't see any point in fielding him.
Yeah, I mean this is a little difficult anyway when you have characters or heroes with great lore, but they don't fit in their armies and things like that. Yeah. But they're iconic, so you want to play them and things like that. So you have written a background for your Halflings, or just something in your head, nothing written down?
No, nothing written down. Just in my head. They grow from army to army, battle to battle at least. And story there. I have another friend as well who has an old Empire army that he fields as Forces of Raw Deer at the War Games Club. And he ran a campaign for us about the Rordian invasion of the Shires and where that came to, how that came about and how it went. So we have our own non-Mantic layers of storyline behind it as well.
Okay. So this is nice to hear, and because lore-driven and campaign-driven events and games are really what keeps the whole going. So how many people are there in your clubs playing Kings of War?
It varies. Probably about 2 years ago, there were usually 6, 7, 8 every monthly session that we had. Nowadays, it's quietened down. There's 2 of us who play regularly. Actually, 3 of us with Darren. Actually, and the man's son, so 4 or 5 or so. But it's not growing at the moment compared to what it was doing 2 years ago. When Mantic were handing out those ambush booklets, I had a load of those that I was handing out to other people, and they were all bringing their old Games Workshop armies into play and playing those and trying them out. But the problem is with any war game is you have so many sets of rules and systems and periods that you want to play. It's spreading and finding enough time to actually do that.
Yeah, war games go in cycles, so you switch with the 1 year and then come back to something later when new things happen. So you have the feeling that so it's still a stable thing. Do you have the feeling that people will come back with 4th edition, or doesn't it really matter if there are new rules out there or things are going to change?
Well, we've got some people that are starting to getting interested. A new player's building an army is not here. Other people, because within our group, are starting to see us play more, and so they are starting to get interested. And I think it's with all war gamers, is either they grab something straight away and they drop everything else and go for it, or it fits into their cycle of things they need to paint and what their next project is. So I think we've probably got 3 or 4 people that are interested, and it's just they will come round to play at some point.
So, yes, no, that will be the case, and of course with 4th being released, maybe that will cause a bit of a flurry at the club, and we will have enough people. There's several people who have Dark Age armies and things that are quite happy to bring them in. So old Games Workshop or Dark Age versions that they will field and quite happily throw into the mix, and they'll try out a few different army lists. Those that was when we were all still learning. Ambush was actually really useful just to get us going, because you can manage. It's a small enough army just to paint and simple enough to play and quick to play. I think at one stage at the club we were probably getting about 3 games into a normal session, where if we're playing 2,300 it'll just be 1 game.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about Champions? You have bought it, you have tried it, you have just read the rules or things like that, or completely ignored it? It's like...
Well, I'm actually, Dave jumped in with everything, I think, as usual, so he's bought some, but I bought the Twilight Kin Champions box, really to see what the game's like and to try a paint scheme on a small number of figures, and mainly because Dave bought into it as well.
I've got it, yes. I had to get the Halfling because
obviously,
and the Harvesters are such good units, and it's a Harvester hero, so if they bring him into 4th edition, then absolutely he has to be there. And then, of course, I couldn't resist the Goblin hero, because with his mop-up launcher he is just irresistible. And then, the latest thing that's catching my eye is Trident Realms, and the Trident Realms hero as well. It's pretty good, and they did sell that to me, even though it's only being released on Monday, I think. But they were happy to take my money for it, and I will open that when I get home and start running down that course as well.
Yeah. So it's also the small hobby aspect of painting a different arm in a small scale. So it's arriving out. That's going. So it's nice to hear you. So guys, thanks a lot. We have a little less time left until Ronnie's speech into. So we will finish this now. Very lovely to talk to you guys. Have a nice day. Good luck for tomorrow. And
cheers. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Bye.